Hey folks, Darren here, Mr. Sandsman. Welcome back to the channel. Creepshow is one of those movies that I remember really vividly my parents renting when I was a kid, way back in probably around about 83, 84, something like that. The Intervision Alpha VHS in the UK, the same label that brought us Dawn of the Dead over here. And I really have absolute clear memories of watching this film for the first time. It was a movie that I saw after Halloween, a movie that I saw after Dawn of the Dead, a movie that I saw after Phantasm. And the one thing that immediately sprung to mind was the same kind of visceral look and feel of all those movies. The sound, the score in this film, which was kind of its time, that late 70s, early 80s feel that the likes of Halloween and Phantasm had. And whilst nowadays I see the funny side to this film, it didn't play to me as a comedy as a sort of 11-year-old boy. I saw it as a really terrifying anthology movie. And I have my favorite segments within the movie, and I have segments in there that I look at, and even today I'm not that fond of. But as a whole, Creepshow remains one of my favorite horror films of all time, and it's been something that I've always grabbed a copy of whenever they've become available. I really only have 3 versions at the moment. But I did own a VHS when it came out on VHS, probably for the first time on sell-through back in the late 80s or early 90s. I can't actually remember. And then I had the Warner Brothers DVD when it came out, this one here. I've now got rid of it. I don't know why. I wish I'd have hung on to it. It was one of those ones with the cardboard cover. And then fast forward to 2013, and Second Sight gave us this version in the UK, and I noticed that it's 15, which I think originally it was either an 18 or an X. I can't really remember now. Maybe an X, or maybe it was a AA. I can't remember what the rating was, but it surprises me because the level of violence in this film is it's pretty gory. It's pretty full on in parts, but I guess there's like an underbelly of humor throughout the whole film, which I didn't get as a kid. I'll admit, I didn't get it as a kid.
Meteor shipped.
I just found it utterly disturbing. But this Second Sight version was probably the most feature-packed version that I got around that time. It has an audio commentary with George A. Romero and special effects creator Tom Savini, audio commentary with director of photography Michael Gornick, actor John Amplas, property master Bruce Allen Miller, and FX makeup assistant Daryl Ferrucci. Just Desserts, the making of Creepshow, which is a 90-minute documentary, which is actually really good. Tom Savini's Behind the Screams, deleted scenes, theatrical trailer, original TV spot, and stills gallery. So that's the artwork there, which is, I have that artwork behind me. You can probably see right there. I have an original one sheet which was gifted to me for my 50th birthday a few years ago. I'll just open this up so you can have a look inside. No booklet or anything, but a pretty cool Blu-ray disc there. I had no idea this was Second Sight until today. This must be one of their earliest releases, I guess. 2013? Let me know below if anybody knows what the first Second Sight release was. It has a DTS 5.1 master audio soundtrack, and it's 1:8:5 ratio, 1080p. So that was the first Blu-ray I had of this film. Fast forward to last year, and I decided to upgrade when Scream Factory brought out this collector's edition. I love the artwork on this as well. And unfortunately, I didn't get the one with the slip. And that's niggled me ever since. Why didn't I get the one with the slip? Why didn't I pounce on this in the first instance and get the version with a slip? But no, I left it some months before I bought this. Fingers were crossed that it came through with a slip cover, and it didn't. But then more fool me. So what do we have on here? We have a new 2023 4K scan from the original camera negative, audio commentary with director George A. Romero and special effects artist Tom Savini, moderated by Michael Felsher. Audio commentary with director of photography Michael Gornick. Audio commentary with composer, first assistant director John Harrison, and construction coordinator Ed Fountain. Disc 2, the Blu-ray, has the new 4K scan from the original camera negative. All 3 audio commentaries from Disc 1. Terror and the Three Rivers, a roundtable discussion with actors John Amplas, Tom Atkins, and Marty Schiff and Tom Savini. The Comic Book Look, an interview with costume designer Barbara Anderson. Ripped from the Pages, an interview with animator Rick Catizoni. The Colours of Creepshow, a look at the restoration of Creepshow with Michael Gornick. Into the Mix, interview with sound recordist Chris Jenkins. Mondo Macabre, a look at the Creepshow posters with Mondo's co-founder Rob Jones and gallery events planner Josh Curry. Collecting Creepshow, a look at the original props and collectibles with collector Dave Burian. Horror's Hallowed Grounds, a look at the original locations hosted by Sean Clark. Audio interviews, deleted scenes, theatrical trailer, TV spot, radio spots, vintage making of featurette, and stills galleries. Everything you could want as a Creepshow fan is on this disc. And then just a couple of months ago, I was at For the Love of Horror in Sheffield. Film Treasures, who are a really good source for getting US imports in the UK, they had a stall there, and I saw the steelbook for Creepshow. And given I don't have what I consider a full version here because it doesn't have the slip, I thought, you know what, I'm going to get that steelbook. And so it has everything that this version has here. And I should have mentioned as well that it's Dolby Vision HDR10 is the Creepshow 4K version here. I don't think it has an Atmos track. It has a DTS Master Audio track on there, so no Atmos track again for this film. However, on this steelbook here, they have added an Atmos track, which I'm delighted about. I haven't, as you can see, I haven't even cracked it open yet. Guys, I'm just going to cut in here. Something wasn't right when I was thinking about the Atmos track on the edit, so I popped the Blu-ray in, and it does in fact have an Atmos track on it, despite there being no mention of Atmos on the packaging. So I just wanted to clarify that. This Shout Factory version that I have here does have an Atmos track. So back to me in the studio. But it basically has all the same stuff that the 4K version has, and the addition of that Atmos track alone is enough for me to make that purchase. Just because I use Sonos, and Sonos, although you get a good PCM 5.1 audio coming through, it's not quite up to the level of DTS Master Audio. So an Atmos track for me is always a bonus. I'm trying to open this here without damaging it in any way. Here we go. There's the slip card with all the details. Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, but you also get this magnificent looking steelbook like that. And I'm opening this for the first time so you guys can see inside. There we go. Blu-ray at the back there, and the 4K Ultra HD at the front with Jordy Verrill on there. Really looking forward to watching this. In fact, I might even watch it tonight, actually. I'm in a dilemma because just literally before I've pressed record on this, that arrived, which is the Return of the Living Dead steelbook, which I am going to do an episode on very soon. But yeah, Creepshow. This is the one I recommend. The steelbook version has Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, HDR10, and all those great bonus features that you get on this version here. I'm a huge fan of Creepshow. If you to ask me which my favorite segment was, I think all of the first 4 segments. Father's Day, the Lonesome Death of Jordy Verrill, Something to Tide You Over, The Crate. I think those 4 are fantastic. And I hate to say it, but I'm not a big fan of their creeping up on you. I kind of like the story behind getting all those cockroaches for the film, which is a pretty disgusting story if you listen to the explanation that Savini gives. They went to somewhere in South America to a cave to collect these cockroaches, and there were so many of them that they were stood in this cave and they were actually being transported along by the sheer volume of cockroaches. They were moving along with the flow of them. And so that to me is more upsetting, more distressing, more unsettling than the actual episode they're creeping up on you, which, you know what? I'll get to like it at some point, I'm sure. Frank, my co-host of TSL Movie Podcast, is a huge fan of that. In fact, it's his favorite one of the 5. But, you know, something to tide you over. The zombies coming back in that, Ted Danson and Galen Ross, when they're walking through the corridors of Leslie Nielsen's house with that kind of green zombie look. He's shooting them, they're just bleeding seawater. It's just horrific. Father's Day, the moment when he appears with the head on the tray. Ed Harris is dancing. And then you have the crate with Hal Holbrook and Adrienne Barbeau, this henpecked guy who's using this ancient monster to get rid of his bitch of a wife. I love the film, I really do, and I think some of the best Savini work is in Creepshow. I adore what he did with this film in terms of the levels of gore and prosthetics that he used. I think it's terrific, I really do. It's a real high point for me in his career, and in George A. Romero's as well. I love Dawn of the Dead, I love Day of the Dead, and I think Creepshow proudly sits alongside those movies. He really did something special with this film. That's it, folks. That's all I've got to say about Creepshow. If you are looking to watch Creepshow, then once again, the Steelbook 4K Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos HDR10 version is the route to go. A plethora of extras, some really cool stuff, including a full feature-length 90-minute documentary, Just Desserts. So that's the one, guys. In the meantime, that's all I've got time for. As I said, I'm going to do Return of the Living Dead next, along with some Halloween stuff, and all that will be coming over the next couple of weeks. So thank you again. Thanks for those of you that have subscribed and left such gracious comments down below. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't liked the video, please do so. It really helps out the channel. If you're yet to subscribe, maybe consider it. And in the meantime, I'll be back very soon. Cheers.